So today we're seeing about I watched some video called like Bowser versus Pete's the election. So we'll be doing the actual election night. So Bowser and Pete's. We'll not be using actual American political parties. So we'll be calling what would Bowser's political party? Maybe the Koopa Party, and Pete's will be the Mushroom Party. Okay, you know, and for once, Bowser instead of kidnapping Pete and stuff, Bowser decided, you know what? Let's hold an actual vote. Who do people want as the leader? So the first polls close at like 5 in Mario World time, and it shows World 1 with Bowser. No, it shows World 1. There's also World 9, which we'll put on the side here because that's World 1 is Peter's home world. This is where the Mushroom Kingdom is. And the only vote is in with 33% in. Bowser, Pete's, and like a third party, Waluigi. Waluigi currently has 3.3% of the vote with 3,000 votes in. Pete's has around 45.0% of the vote, and Bowser has 46.0% of the vote. Bowser is currently in the lead. This World 1 is a swing district as Pete's home is here, and Pete's is going to have the most influence here. This is, of course, with 33% of the vote in, so we can fill in the bow here, and of course, Bowser is currently winning. The current popular vote is Bowser 1 million, and of course, with 0 electoral Mushroom Kingdom votes. And of course, third party, Waluigi as well, who is an independent who currently has around 26,000 votes. More votes have come in, and Pete's has taken the lead in World 1. One with a higher vote as the urban Mushroom Kingdom populace turns out to vote for Pete's. With half the vote in, it seems that Bowser might actually lose this area, but this area in the polling said that Pete's would win anyways. But Bowser is not that upset, as there are 7 more worlds to win, and Bowser would need to win 5 of the worlds to win the election. Same thing with Pete's as well. Pete's is currently winning, this world, and let's use the eraser here, and we'll be using abbreviations for this, but Bowser is currently behind on the popular vote with Pete's reading, and Waluigi currently having at least 57 votes, 1,000 votes here. Here with Waluigi, these votes are actually declining to just around 2.3% of World 1 vote. World 2 and World 3 are now in. World 2, which is the desert world, Bowser currently leads with around 53% of the vote in, with Pete's having around 43% in as well. With Waluigi, the third party commanding a 5% of the vote. Pete's this is not, the desert world has never been a swing world and is immediately called for Bowser. Bowser gains the desert world, the desert world's 33 votes, ranking him in the lead currently with the desert map, with the desert world. The desert world is currently at 42% in, and has been declared for Bowser, as Bowser is commanding a 10% lead as well. World 3, which is a very anticipated, very close race. The mail-in votes have come in favor of Pete's, but experts are anticipating that this is the mail-in vote, which consists of 29% of the electorate as well, with Waluigi gaining another 2% of the vote as well here. So Bowser is currently behind by 15%, but of course, the mail-ins heavily favor Pete's in this election, so that isn't too surprising. World 2, which has already been called, Bowser has actually extended his lead over Pete's in this area, with Waluigi still with Waluigi's vote share declined to just around 2% as well. The popular vote has now extended to Bowser, now winning it by at least 300,000, but that's mostly because of the Desert World, which is now 68% in. Again, the governor of the Desert World is very pro Bowser, which shouldn't be too surprising. And the First World is now 70% in, and and Bowser has actually caught up to Pete's. Pete's has actually taken the lead in this world with 50% of the vote here, and continue to keep her lead in this area. Waluigi still contains around 3.7% of the vote, and Waluigi has now passed 100,000 total votes to just around 213,000 votes as well. And of course, other candidates have around 117,000 votes, including Dimencio and also newcomer Link. World 4 is now in, and 14%. World 4 and World 5 are now starting to count. I'll put them over here. World 4, Bowser is currently leading by around 2 and around 4, with Waluigi getting at least 3% of the vote. 2% of the vote as well. And World 5, Bowser is doing very poorly in the Snow World, as this is a very advantageous one for Pete's as well. And Waluigi also doing very poorly here. World 5 has been declared for Pete's and will be using a pink color for Pete's. As we're gonna immediately call World 5 for Pete's, as Pete's has been called for the to get the 29 electoral votes from World 5 as well. World 3 has been updated here. This is the most pivotal state to win, as this is, considered the tipping point state, and Pete's has now around 51% of the vote, but Bowser has been catching up, and World 3 now is around 42% in, and it seems that this might be put over for Bowser, but again, there's still 62% of the vote reporting and outstanding as well. So here, and we have the exit polls here. Toads are majority voting for Pete's by around 73%. Meanwhile, the Koopas, which have sided with Bowser, okay, because the problem is Toad is only for Toads. That a lot of the mainstream pundits have been saying that Pete's is mostly for Toads, okay, mostly for the Toad kind and Toad race. Bowser has basically stood for the forgotten groups of people of the Mushroom Kingdom, which are the Goombas, the Koopas, and Bowser is doing especially well with Goombas and Koopas, and of course more World folk as well, because Bowser is doing very well with World folks. World 2, Bowser, with Bowser has been declared the winner of World 2 with 60% in and 45% in for Pete's, and Waluigi are 2% in. World 2 is now at 84% in, and yeah, Bowser has won World 2. Yeah. Meanwhile, World 4, which again has been kind of ignored by Bowser. So again, the early vote is the mail-in vote is now in. They have counted all of the mail vote for World 4. It's now at 42% in. And Bowser is at 57% in, and Peach is at 42% in. It's only at 40% in. No, Peach is at 57% in for Peach, and Bowser 40% in. The election day vote and the in-person vote heavily favors Bowser in this election. World 7 is now in, and they are now at 1% of the vote. World 7 counts the slowest. Meanwhile, World 6 is at 57%, and this is a very pro-Bowser state. And this shouldn't be too surprising. World 6, as well. Yoshi's Island usually reports last, but World 6, obviously, this has always been, this is a very pro-Koopa, this is a very Koopa state, so Koopas usually, vote in this election. Are voting in larger numbers. Koopas and Goombas and Rackatoos and Spinies, Bowser and Pete's. However, Farfel has come in fourth because there's a lot of Bean immigrants in there who are actually more voting for Farfel this time. So the immigrant community, which is the Bean immigrant community, is 60% for Pete, as Bowser is not very for immigrants. 45% Farfel and 5% for Bowser. So, but again, Bean immigrants only make up around 2% of World 6. World 6 is 80% Koopa. Okay? 80% Koopa, and the Koopas have the crowd. This is a, Koopa. So Bowser has now won yet another is now at 67 votes. Meanwhile, Pete still is at 29 votes. Meanwhile, World 7, Bowser is in trouble now. Bowser is in trouble now with Pete's garnering 50% with Farfel 17%. This is kind of like this is kind of very similar to California. Yeah, well, but again, Farfel has gained several percentage of the votes, with Bowser having 30% as well. But again, this is only 1% in. This is, 1% of the vote is in. And World 8 is now voting, and of course, this is the most pro-Bowser area. Of course, World 8 is now counting its votes. This is the, the most pro-Koopa, area. World 6 and World 8 are the most pro-Koopa area, as this, of course, as this is Bowser's home district, and of course, Bowser is winning his home district by at least 50%. Meanwhile, Waluigi is winning with around 3% of the vote as well. And World 8 has been declared for Bowser alongside of World 6. So we all know these two districts will vote here. And there are 10 worlds, and Bowser needs to win 6 of them as well. The last two districts heavily favor Bowser. So Bowser now currently has around 105 votes. Here, and now we have to go back to World 1, which unfortunately for Bowser's team, Bowser is catching up, but not by very much. World 1 is the most told district. Bowser has done better amongst the Koopa minority groups, but that isn't enough for Bowser to pull out the win here. And World 1 has been declared. Also, all World 2 has been counted. did. They have counted all of the votes here. It is the first district to really beat the crowd for Bowser. So here. So we're gonna have the results here. So results here. The finished state. So Bowser and Pete's. World 2, Bowser has 57% of the vote. Pete has 42%, or has 40% of the vote in. And of course, Waluigi has around 1% of the vote in. Meanwhile, the popular vote is all over the place. Bowser still has a lead in the popular vote as well. But Pete is very trailing by, and Waluigi has currently passed 1 million votes across all constituency, but also other, which includes Farfel, has around 1 million votes in. Yeah, Bowser has to win World 3 and World 4 in order to win the election, and World 9 in Yoshi's Island. I just don't see a pathway to victory for Bowser if he lost World 1. That is an enormous swing area. Bowser won his 3 most, Pete's has her 2 most trusted constituencies now. World 9 is reporting, and of course Pete's instantly wins World 9 as well. This shouldn't be too surprising. This is Pete's home world, and Bowser wins around 56%. Bowser loses by at least 16 points. So, however, there's only 26% of the vote, but we all know Pete is gonna win. So we can actually count the votes for Pete. Pete has won 3 total districts in the Mushroom Kingdom. Pete is at 113 votes with winning World 1 and World 9. Yeah, now it's down to World 3, which again is getting very, very close indeed. Now it's at 47-47, which means this is going to be a very, very close race. Farfel has actually taken the lead in third parties now, with just around 3% of the vote in. World 3 is now at 68% of the vote in, and World 1, which is at 85% in, now it's at 98%. Now it's at 92%, 94%, and Bowser has failed to catch up. Meanwhile, Waluigi has 4% of the vote. Yeah, but all the votes have not been counted in World 1. World 2 has finished counting the votes. World 3 is at 68% of the vote in. And Bowser has taken the lead in that area. World 4, Bowser currently Bowser is actually still narrowly in the lead with 51-45. Waluigi has 2% of the vote currently, and World 4 is now at 67%. There is still a chance for Pete to pull ahead. World 5 is now done, and Bowser has actually gained significant ground in World 5, but World 5 is now at 74% in, and Bowser has actually gained ground in many of the world districts of World 5. This shouldn't be too shocking. World 6 is at 95% in. Basically, the World 6 has already been decided for Bowser. The Martins actually did not change, and Bowser has won World 6. As a World 6 is now the second world in, and Bowser commands at 62%, with Pete's at 30%, and Farfel at 5% in. So World 6 and World 2 are done counting. Basically, World 7 It's taking forever to count. They're at 14% currently. Bowser needs to win World 7 in order to win, and he currently is at 62% of the vote, but again, that's excluding the World Urban vote as well. World 8 is at 89% reporting, and Yoshi's Island is now finally in, and Yoshi's Island is surprisingly close. Again, the Yoshi demographic, which makes up 30% of the island, is voting for Pete's, but you also got to forget about the Koopas. You can't forget about the Koopas. And Farfel, because there's a lot of Bean immigrants in the area, which Farfel will take away from both Bowser and Pete's here. But the area is surprisingly close, with 43% for Pete's and 42% for Bowser. 47% for Bowser and 40% for Pete's. That's 80% vote. So 82% in. Bowser is at 33% of the vote, and we're not gonna call Yoshi's Island just yet for Pete's, as many of the Koopa districts have yet to report as well. But the World 1 is in now, and Pete's won World 1 as well. Yeah. So this is the first actual state where Pete has done counting all the votes. Pete is actually really worried he might lose Yoshi's Island, as he's winning World 9 and he might win World 5. That will put her at 5. But Bowser might win the other 3, which will put him ahead of the election. So Peter's at 50%, Bowser's at 44%, and Waluigi's at 3%. N. Now back to World 3, which is a very, very close race still. Bowser is currently in the lead by around 1% here, with Waluigi's cell going down to 2% of the vote. In with World 3 at least 82%. Pete's can still catch up in the lead, obviously, as there's still 16% of the vote reporting. The Mushroom Kingdom. However, Bowser still retains the popular vote, and Waluigi and others, including Farfel and Dimencio, which both are doing very, very poorly this election cycle. Yeah, and World 3 is at 82% in. This is the Swing District. And World 4 is at 91% in. And Bowser is still winning by a decisive margin. Bowser's margin has massively declined to 55% to 45%, which is still here, but Bowser has won. This causes Bowser's team to cheer, as they have won the least popular. They have won one of the least populated districts, but it is still a very important one indeed. And Bowser has 147 electoral votes. It is now down to the two main roads in Yoshi's Island. Yeah, and World 3 is one of the most, and World 4 and World 3 are the most populated districts. Yoshi's Island is now 53%. Yoshi's Island it's now midnight, and Yoshi's Island is now 55% in. And this is a pretty big problem for Pete, because Bowser is now caught in the lead in Yoshi's Island. Farfel has swung to around 10% of the vote. As well, no, has swung to around 13% of the vote. Meanwhile, Bowser is pulling ahead with mostly the Koopa districts in, with mostly the Koopa districts left to go, and there are still many Yoshi districts and Toad districts to be counted. Meanwhile, Farfel is at 17% of the vote. A lot of people are blaming Farfel for this. World 6 is now in. And World 8 is now in. But Bowser has won World 8 substantially. Here. So World 8 is now called for Bowser. World 8 is by a closer margin than expected. No one was expecting World 8 to be much closer, but still 57% and 40% in, with Farfel getting around 1% of the vote there. So World 8 is now is in World 1, World 2. Now let's check on World 5. And World 5 is finished counting too. So World 5, this is a Pete's district right here. Pete has won World 5 by a smaller margin than expected. Bowser has made great strides in the low areas. However, it was not enough to flip World 5. With Waluigi gaining 2% of the vote in, and Farfel and Diamantio gained the rest. So this was actually a narrow victory for Pete, which is Pete is like very, very shocked that it is. Here, but World 4 has also been finished counting, and they have been won by at least 95%. And World 4 has been called for Bowser. Has been complete, and World 4 Bowser won that. Okay, what was the percentage again? 50%. Meanwhile, World 7 is now 44% in. This is the one that's taking forever. 47% in. And we gotta see the results coming out of this. Bowser is still ahead. A lot of the Mushroom Party is blaming Farfel on Mario Twitter, on the Mushroom Kingdom Twitter. If Bowser wins, blame it on Farfel. Blame it on Farfel, as he has 11% of the vote so far, with 47%, and Bowser could still lose the election here. Meanwhile, World 3 is now 90% in, and Bowser is still ahead. But of course, they still have the urban areas still counting, which could favor it, but a lot of the networks are calling World 3 for Bowser, which means Bowser has won World 3. It's not all Bowser needs to do is win one more world. Either World 7 or Yoshi's Island, which he is beating in both currently, which no one was expecting World 7. World 9 has been 100% in, and Pete has won World 9. This wouldn't be too surprising. It's Pete's home world. Also, he got the endorsement from Rosarena, which helped her a lot. And also, Farfel got 3% there. So, World 9 is now in with 95% in. We're only now only worried about World 7 and Yoshi's Island. Now it's the next day in the morning and the election still hasn't been called, as World 7 is now currently at 78% in. Meanwhile, Yoshi's Island has been surprisingly close as well. With Bowser and Peach having the same exact margin. And with Farfel now gaining another percentage in. It's too close to call for Yoshi's Island. With Bowser at 776,1k votes. And of course Farfel at 143,000 votes as well. Bowser has been declared the winner of the election, as Yoshi's Island is not a very populated district, and of course World 7, it's still the same margins, despite being 78% in. Pizza's set at a slight lead, so Pizza's still leading. World 3 has been finished as well, so World 3 has been finished. Counting here, and we're going to put World 3 over here. Overall, we 3% of the vote. World 3 is now over 90% in. Also, we gotta take a look at the Senate and House of the Mario. We gotta look at the Senate here. So there are 20 seats in the Senate, half are up, and the Koopas are now winning a 7 out of 10 of the votes. We now Mushroom win 2 of the 10, and the Bean Party won 1 out of 10. Which means the Senate is in Koopa control. The House has not been decided yet. Still, the Koopas lead with at least 72 seats. Meanwhile, the Mushroom Kingdom has around 69 in. They need a 101 majority in order to win. It seems that the House will be very, very close, as well, as the House is not done counting. Yoshi's Island is now 91% in, and it seems that Bowser and Peach are still tied. Bowser has actually pulled ahead of Peach, which means we can safely call Yoshi's Island, which is a shocking revelation for Bowser. They were surprised at Yoshi's Island, and a lot of the Peach campaign is blaming the Bean Kingdom for quote-unquote rigging, or Farfel for rigging the election. But Yoshi's Island is now a Koopa stronghold. So Yoshi's Island only has 8 electoral votes, so that, World 7 has a lot. If Peach won World 7, which is the last world remaining, she still would lose the election. Yeah, but it's now up to World 7, which is now at 88% in. We can also make the call for the House. Peach has also congratulated Bowser at his victory. And hopefully there'll be no more kidnapping ever again, as there is, as this is a peaceful election as well. But while Bowser is the conservative candidate by far, and we only have Yoshi's Island and most of the House seats are now outstanding of World 7. Koopas only need 3 more seats for the House. Meanwhile, Bowser is currently has gained the lead for 44%. Meanwhile, Farfel has dropped to 10. Farfel has increased to 15% of the vote. So 11% of the vote, which, whereas it's still at 10% of the vote because this is 87%. 97. And Waluigi has 2%. Demetrio has 1%. So we're almost done with the election. Bowser currently has 41 million. Meanwhile, Pete's slightly behind with just around 4.29 million. Waluigi, which is now at 4th place. As well, but Farfel is at 10% here, and Yoshi's Island has been finished here, and Yoshi's Island is now at over 95%, and Yoshi's Island has been complete, with Bowser winning 38% and Pete's winning 46%. And Farfel for winning an astounding 60% of the vote. And Waluigi also doing pretty well there. World 7 has now finally been done counting, and the election that can be called for the state. Bowser has won World 7. It is over for Pete's. Pete has conceded already, but World 7. Bowser has had a historic win in this election, gained 295 votes. But again, this is just the beginning of the Mushroom Kingdom democracy. And World 7, the final results are in. And Pete has only had 42% of the vote in. The most populous district has now voted for and now news in the House. Koopa has gained 108 seats. So Bowser is declared the winner. Third party Farfel and Waluigi have a combined voter cell, and we have done counting the votes in, with Bowser at 52 million and Pete at 50 million. So that's it about this video here. So Bowser has won the Mushroom Kingdom election. And yeah, goodbye.